Hi guys, it's LeJanaro back with another video. I would like to say welcome to all of my new subscribers. Thank you so much for subscribing to the channel and everyone who keeps coming back each time I post a new video. So today is another easy summer sewing make, and it is Simplicity 9541. Right, and I want to say I did this view here, which is view A, right? So this is a very easy sew. Trying to pull it out and see how many pattern pieces it had. I can't remember. Don't you hate when you pull a pattern out and trim it and then it just won't, it's not flat anymore. All right, so it had the front piece, the back piece, the pocket, the shoulder straps, the back facing, and the front facing. So front, back, pocket, shoulder strap, front facing, and back facing. So 6 pieces. I used a knit fabric that I found in my stash, which was the complete wrong fabric to use. This calls for cotton types, linen types, rayon, challis. That's it. The reason why I used the knit is because I was looking through one of my bins here in my sewing area, and the fabric was just there. It was the right amount. I had enough to cut out the pattern, so I said, let me just cut it out. Because if I didn't, that pattern would have been sitting in the corner and I would have been staring at it. I definitely may try to do it in one of the suggested fabrics. Won't be anytime soon because I don't know when I'm going fabric shopping again, but use the knit fabric. It is a navy blue knit fabric. Matter of fact, the video that I'm cutting out everything, I actually cut that out in that video. So very, very easy sew. It's huge. It is huge. So I hacked the pattern. Once I made it and I tried it on, the top part fits okay, so this part right here is kind of loose a little bit. So I probably can go down to, I cut a 22, just based off my hips. But the top part, I probably could go down to a 20, and then just grade out. The legs, and you can see that on the pattern. The legs, because it's a jumpsuit, they're so big they look like they may be a dress, but it's a jumpsuit. So the legs are so wide, and I didn't like it. I'm short, I'm 5'2", so I don't like it. If I still have the picture in my phone that I took, I'll pop it up on the screen so you can see it. So you can see what I'm talking about, like how wide the legs were. And I think, again, I'm short, I think it went almost to my ankle or at my ankle. So what I decided to do was cut about 5 inches off of it, add some elastic to it, and just make it a jumpsuit like that. Because I just couldn't see myself with, I feel like I would have been tripping over my legs had I kept it that length. So yeah, I say, you know what, let me go ahead and cut off a lot of this bottom, and then I just added elastic to the each leg, and I'll start popping pictures up on the screen so you can see what that looks like. But yeah, this top part here was a little bit loose on me, but that's fine. I'll just, when I'm Well, actually, if I make it in a woven, I may need that extra room. But because I made it in a knit, um, things is different between a knit and a woven or cotton. So overall, though, I did enjoy making the pattern. It's easy. The instructions were easy for me to follow. I had to actually follow the instructions because it's something that I hadn't made before. Um, I prefer pockets. I prefer I prefer side pockets. I don't like pockets that are on the front of pants or on the front of dresses. I don't like it. Um, so the pockets are okay on that. I'll leave it on that one that I made. Next time I may actually add side pockets instead of the front pockets on it. I did the pockets wrong. I did too much folding on the pockets. So my pocket is not as wide as it's supposed to be, but that's fine. It's not a big deal. And I knew I was doing it wrong as I was doing it, and I kept saying, this is not right. But I just kept going. Because I'm the type of sewer that if something goes wrong, it goes in the pile. I have to really want a project in order for me to grab my seam ripper, take it apart, redo it. I may do it on down the line, but not in that moment. It will go over in the unfinished pile. So yeah, that's why I kept going on those pockets, even though I know that I did a little bit too much folding. Other than that, very, very easy sew. It had you sew the front and back leg together first. Well, one seam of it. Then when you open it up, that's where you put the pockets on it. And then, because your pocket is mostly in the front, but it goes into the back just a little bit. So you sew the backs, you sew the side seams, I believe. The instructions are good. You sew one side of the front and back together. Then you add the pocket, and then you sew the front and back at the crotch area. Then you take both legs, place one inside of the other, and sew around the crotch area, if that makes sense. Then you do the straps, and then you sew the straps. You don't add the straps yet. Once you sew the straps, you pin it to the jumpsuit or the dress if you're going to make the dress. Then sew the facing, and then you add the facing, and the straps are sandwiched between the facing and the garment. Yeah. I know that was like a very brief, incoherent giving of directions. But I promise you, this is a very, very, very easy sew. When I tried it on, the crotch was at my knees and it was super long. So that's why I decided, I was like, hey, it could be considered drop crotch. Y'all know I love drop crotch stuff. So I said, you know what? I'm going to make this like a drop crotch jumpsuit. I'm going to add this elastic to the bottom, and we go call it a day. And I'm going to wear it proudly in these summer streets. But I say I'm going to make it again if I find some fabric. The next time I go fabric shopping, I will with the intention of making this again, I will actually look for some fabric for it. But I think it's cute. I think it's super cute. Again, I didn't really like how wide the legs were, but that's probably something I can fix the next time if I decide to make it again, to not make the legs as wide as they are. Because I just feel like my knees and everything would just get tangled up in there, and we'll have a whole disaster. But anyway, no complaints about the pattern. No complaints about the pattern instructions. Um, it's a loose fitting jumpsuit, so it's gonna be kind of big on you when you make it. So just keep that in mind. If you're like me and you cut big, and if it's too big, you make it smaller. Again, I made it with a knit, super huge on me. Top part not too bad. Hip part not too bad. It's just everything else was just big. The back of it has elastic just in the back part of it. So that's the kind of, yep, just to kind of hold it in the back there. It has elastic. So again, very, very easy. So I recommend this pattern for beginners. I remember there's a time where if something had a facing, I wouldn't even make it, or if I could skip the facing, I would skip the facing. I know, horrible. But this one, you can't skip it. There's no way you can skip it. And it's easy to put together. I was pinning it on wrong because I was watching TV. Probably that's why I probably did the pockets wrong. But then when I realized, I was like, wait, you're pinning this wrong. Do you all have sewing intuition? Every time I don't listen to my sewing intuition, I end up doing something wrong. This time I listened, except for the pockets. I listened to my sewing intuition about the facing, and I realized I was pinning it wrong. Took it, unpinned it, and then pinned it right. So yeah, let me know in the comments if you have sewing intuition. Does something tell you when you're doing something wrong while you're sewing? Does that little thing nag at you and go, something's not right? And if it does, do you listen to it? All right. So yeah, that's another easy sewing make. The dress would be super easy. Yeah. Yeah, the dress would be super, super easy. Anywho, I don't think I have anything else to say about this pattern. Besides, it's easy, it's beginner friendly, and I recommend that you add this to your summer sewing list. Question of the day. Your career. If you weren't doing what you're doing now, what would you be doing? So my career has been all over the place. I never knew, I won't say never, there was something I wanted to be when I grew up. I'll tell you in a second. I may have told you on another video, I don't know. But I didn't grow up saying, you know what, I want to be a nurse, I want to be a doctor, I want to be a lawyer, I want to be an astronaut. I had no clue. When I was younger, around the 5th through the 7th grade, I wanted to be a rapper. I wanted to be just like MC Lyte and Queen Latifah and Salt and Pepper. We used to sit in the cafeteria at lunch, and we used to rap, me and my friends. But yeah, that was about it. So when I went off to college, I had no idea. I chose accounting as a major, but I chose that because I took it, I think, my senior year, and I did like accounting. But in high school, you only get the basics. When you go to college, that's when you get down to the nitty gritty. And when I got to the nitty gritty, I didn't like it. So I changed my major to marketing. This was in the 90s. So yeah, after I worked a lot of retail jobs while I was in college, and then I was at Publix. When I finished school, I had worked at Publix for 4 years. So when I finished college, I was just tired. I was tired of standing on my feet. I'll get to the answer in a minute, I guess. So I went to a temp agency. Publix had made me mad. I was stressed out and just all over the place, and I asked them for 2 weeks off, and they told me no. So I went to a temp agency, And I said, I want to work Monday through Friday and I want to sit down. That's what I told them. I want to work Monday through Friday. I want to sit down. So they gave me the test and everything at the temp agency, and they end up sending me to the Medical College of Georgia. I don't know if that's what they still call it, MCG. I don't. They've changed names so many times. I don't know what it's called now. But I end up working there in the patient access department, and that started my career in the medical field, which I stayed in for about 10 years. And I did like it. I liked the administrative side. Great jobs, great benefits. And then after that, I went into teaching. I took that, is it the Myers-Briggs? I think I took that right at the beginning of college, and it told me that teaching or counseling would be a good profession for me. And I said no, I didn't want to be a teacher, but I was only thinking about teaching kids. I wasn't thinking about teaching adults at the time. So when I did go back around and I went back to school for education, I wanted to focus on adult education, and did that for 11 and a half years. So now I'm just flying by the seat of my pants. So I honestly have no idea what I want to be doing for the rest of my life. In other words, I don't know what I want to be when I grow up. So let me know in the comments if you were not doing what you're doing now as your career, what would you be doing, or what is your dream career? I can say I do like teaching and demonstrating and training. I like that part of jobs because I always seem to be that person. Whenever they hire somebody new, I was always the person that trained that person and showed them the ropes. And I did like that aspect of the job. So maybe that's something for me to look into. Anywho, let me know in the comments. All right. If you like this video, click the thumbs up button. Don't forget to subscribe. And also hit the notification bell so you'll be notified each time I post a new video. And I'll see you in the next one.